it is 1,000 times different than private practice. I've done both, and it is completely different. There's corporations, there's big dental companies, giant dental companies that have clinics all over the United States. It is a way different feel than me, what I'm in right now, where it's me, and I have 2 hygienists, I have 2 assistants, I have 2 front office people, and so much different than having a giant corporation. And so there's benefits to each one, there's cons to each one. You just kind of have to decide, where do you want to be, what works best for me. And when you do go shadow, whether you're shadowing nurses or doctors or anybody else, like think about that kind of stuff when you do it. In dental medicine, and then also another thing to think about is, do you want to specialize? So these are all of the recognized specialties in dental medicine. As you can see, there's quite a few. So if you are thinking about becoming a dentist, you might think about, shadowing some of these people too, some of these specialists that you may want to specialize in those fields someday.
What would you describe as like the definition of public health versus being a private practice?
So public health is usually something like government funded, where you're looking at people that are on Medicaid, and primarily seeing Medicaid patients. And so in Oregon, Medicaid patients typically have the Oregon Health Plan. And so I worked for 4 years for a clinic that primarily that's who we saw. And so Oregon Health Plan is, some of you might even know, or maybe even be on it. Oregon Health Plan only covers so much. And so you tend to pull more teeth. They don't really cover like crowns and bridges and those types of things that help you, that a lot of patients actually need in order to save their teeth. And so it becomes kind of a financial thing in a lot of ways. But I do think that the Oregon Health Plan does help a lot of people as well that otherwise wouldn't get any dental care. So I think there's pros and cons to all of that. So does that answer your question, hopefully? Did everybody hear her question? Okay, I was just thinking about that. I probably should have repeated it.
Going back to the board exams, you said there was a national board exam and then a regional board exam. So what exactly is what do you achieve by doing the national board exam? Does that maintain your license? Or?
So the national board exam is a requirement to take and pass by every state.
Gotcha.
In the country, and then the regional board exam is only accepted by certain states. So you want to take the regional exam that is accepted by the state where you want to practice. So like right now, if I wanted to go practice in Hawaii, I would have to go, even though I've been doing this for 12 years, I would still have to go take the Northeastern Regional Board exam to be able to practice in Hawaii.
Gotcha.
Which is funny that Hawaii accepts the Northeastern Regional Board, but that's what they got. So
multiple states accept theoretically one or multiple exams.
Yeah, so I'm just going to call it NERB for Northeastern because that's what we call in dental school because it's easier to say. So the NERB is pretty universally accepted now. I'm not 100% sure if Oregon now accepts it, but I think they do. There's been since I've been in dental school, there's kind of been a push to make just kind of a universal exam rather, because all of them are the same. I mean, all the exams are essentially the same. It's just egos. So. Okay, so each state has their own requirement. We kind of talked about that. Oregon requires every 2 years I have to reinstate my license, and I have to take 40 hours of continuing education. So I have to. They do dictate certain courses that I have to take, and then most of them are just elective. So they always require us to do medical emergency stuff, and then some cultural inclusion stuff. So that's just dictated by the state law. So I do that every 2 years. And so after I graduated from dental school, I had one more. So this is Cameron. She's competing today at the Meet of Champions up in Corvallis. I'm going to brag on her a little bit because she's she is the fastest 200-meter hurdler in the state for middle schools, and so hopefully she wins today. There's one other girl that's kind of keeping up with her. I tried to trip her, but anyway. No, I'm sure Cameron will do great. So she's competing in that and the 100-meter hurdles. She should do well in both. So these are some things that I wish I would have known before I went to dental school. Before you go to any medical program at all, is the actual cost. So it is not unusual for somebody to come out of medical school, dental school, pharmacy school. It is not unusual for them to have $500,000 in debt easily. So it's something to think about. How are you gonna repay this? How are you gonna fund it? And so I was not independently wealthy, and you can see I had a family when I went to dental school, and for some reason I like to quit my jobs. So, but essentially during dental school, you're at school for 40, 50 hours a week, and then you have another 20 hours of studying every week. It's really hard to try to maintain a job on top of that. And a lot of schools won't even allow you to work. They have a contract that doesn't allow you to work at a job. I mean, you can have other sources of income, but a lot of times if you're going into a job, there's contracts that they won't let you work. So the military and National Health Corps scholarships are fantastic scholarships. I took some bad advice and from somebody that didn't know about what I was getting into, who told me when I was applying to the Air Force for a scholarship not to do it, and I trusted that person. I didn't do it. So now that I've gone through it, I would, if you are going to any higher level health professional programs above a bachelor's degree, I would highly recommend doing that. Essentially, they pay for everything. They pay for your school, they pay for your housing, they give you a stipend. The commitment that you make to them is that you will go and work for them somewhere for however many years they pay for. So if they pay for all 4 years of your dental school, you owe them 4 years of working in some military base somewhere, wherever they put you. So it is a trade-off, but now that as I look back, I think it's well worth it. At least I would consider looking into it. Go ahead.
When you say working at a base, do you mean like working in your profession, like once
Yes, yeah. So yes, exactly. So so if I would have been in the Air Force, I would have come out as a captain, and I would have made captain pay and I would have worked as a dentist at an Air Force base somewhere. So or wherever they put you. So sometimes.
Do you have to be in the service to get those benefits?
So you are active in the service when you enroll with these scholarships. So you actually go to basic training. It is not the same basic training that they put 18-year-old kids through. It is basically, I don't know, it's easy. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So it's.
So is that the route you went?
No, I didn't. I didn't go that route. I wish in a lot of ways I wish I would have, but it's too late now. My body doesn't work the same as it did. Yeah. So those are great scholarships. I would highly recommend looking into them if you're considering getting any sort of doctorate in any sort of medicine. They're great opportunities. I actually have my brother-in-law. He is in the Air Force. He's a pediatric neurosurgeon now. The Air Force paid for all of his schooling, so he owes them a lot of years back. But it's not like he is going to go, to Afghanistan with an AK-47 or something. He's going to be somewhere taking care of kids that need, surgery for their brain. So there's a lot of good to those scholarships. So after I graduated from dental school, I got a license in Oregon. I was a dental associate. That means I work for a doctor, but I am a doctor as well. So same thing with a lawyer. that's why they call it, you know, whatever Law and Associates. It's because they are lawyers, but they work for another lawyer. So I was an associate in a kind of a public health setting for about 4 years. I did private practice for 4 years. I'm still in private practice, but I own my practice now. So I purchased a practice about 3 years ago, and out in Grants Pass, if you've ever been out that far in the boonies, that's Jan's been there. So this is my family now. So this is, it's funny I say now, this is actually like 3 years ago. But you can see we added two more boys and a dog. So, but that's us now. So I wanted to throw this in here real quick because I did at the beginning talk about how there's a giant dental industry. And here is just some of the things. I mean, this is probably not even close to a full list of careers in the dental field that have nothing to do with being a dentist. So there's marketing, there's compliance managers, especially if you get into the big companies where they have multiple practices all over the country. There's going to be, they have lawyers, they have HR, they have, you know, all sorts of things. There's dental technicians. There's people that make crowns, there are people that make dentures. There's all sorts of stuff and careers within the dental industry that most people don't even think about because most people just are like, I hate going to the dentist. And so if you don't want to be the person that everybody hates, you can get into something else. There's lots of stuff here. So, and if you guys have any questions about any of these, even after we're done, I'm more than willing to take some questions. So I do want to show you just some of this stuff that I've done over the last little while. So is everybody in anatomy, taking anatomy? Raise your hand if you're taking anatomy, been in anatomy. Okay, this way. So general anatomy, I'm gonna this is gonna get into some more higher level anatomy. So specific to dentistry, which is really nerdy of me. But so